what are some tips that you can give us as students to help a school grow? I mean, what can we do as the large body? Because we're way more networked than we'd like to realize. I mean, if you're going to school, all of your friends, you can be pulling them in. If you're going to a youth group of any kind, maybe at the YMCA or a church or anything like that, they know a lot of people.
Or Facebook.
Or Facebook, you know, all the social media. There's a lot of people that they can get in touch with that you'll never be able to get in touch with.
Right.
So what are some, I guess, techniques or some tactics we can use as students to help the schools grow?
The best compliment you can give to your Sifu is to refer someone to your school. Because some of our best students have came from referrals. You know, so to refer someone to my school is a compliment for me. That's one of the highest compliments you can give, by telling a family member or a friend, hey, you know what, I've learned some good stuff here at this school, you know, and you know, I'd like for you to go in and give it a try, you know, and that right there is one way that a student can really compliment their Sifu and their school.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Hector from Lions Pride Martial Arts. I'm the chief instructor there in Long Beach, California, and we're here today in San Bernardino, California at the Thai Mana School with Sifu Don Newton. And we're here to find out a bit about how to run our Kung Fu schools effectively as a business. So, Sifu Don, you mentioned just a few minutes ago that that had been sort of a conflict, that people hadn't been thinking about running a Kung Fu school as a business, and you had started to tell us a bit about that. Would you care to start out with just that?
Well, sure. It's always been Kung Fu, and I come from old school Kung Fu, that if you charge a high price, then you were considered selling out. That you really wasn't teaching Kung Fu because you loved it, but you were teaching Kung Fu for the money of it. So you were kind of selling out. Here we are, you know, in 2012 in the United States, and there's nothing wrong with making a good living at having a profession which is teaching Kung Fu and how to make people's lives better through the discipline of Kung Fu. So that's basically where there was the problem there. So what happens with this is that you have these masters, and I can name some, but they try to run their school and charge very little for their services, and they would basically have a job, a full-time job, and then come and open their school at nights and take a little bit of money from their students and try to keep that school afloat, which most of the time they were unable to do. They just couldn't pay the bills for the establishment, and eventually the school would close. Who suffers from that? Everyone suffers from that. Now you've lost a good master, a good Sifu, that is not teaching anymore, not being able to offer what he has, and that's the unfortunate aspect of that mentality. I think nowadays, like I said, there is nothing wrong with making a good living. When you are making a good living and you're able to come into your classes, then you know you're more happier. I know that when I first opened my school and I had to worry about paying my bills, I had equipment that was handed down or fixed. It was broken, and you know, it just didn't give me a good feeling of coming in to teach a class. I didn't have the same feeling. Once I started learning about, you know, there's nothing wrong with charging. If you're running a professional school, there's nothing wrong with charging a good fee for that. That, you know, you can charge a good fee. We are a profession that our education continues to go, not like doctors or attorneys that have a limited amount of education, whether it's 6 years, 8 years, or however long, our education is continuous forever. So we're always learning, and we're always passing that information down to students as far as how to make their lives better and how to apply what we teach them to the outside world.
There's nothing wrong with seeing martial arts, a martial arts school, as the primary business, and it would actually, in fact, be better to see it that way than to have other jobs holding it down, dragging down the energy of that person, because working an 8-hour job and coming to do 4 hours of Kung Fu, that's got to be demanding, to mention the stresses of just having to juggle so much time, 2 different jobs, all that stuff. So it's much simpler, much better, much more preferable, nothing wrong with maintaining a martial arts school as your only discipline, your only source of income, and charging accordingly.